going to go on that one either, is it?
The museum archives hold a rare treasure. The sands of Egypt recently yielded up a perfectly flat piece of stone that lists the names of certain workers. It is an attendance record, 5,000 years old, and it records, day by day, the date and the reason for each workman's absence.
It is inscribed on both sides and contains a record of about 40 names of workmen. I think this kind of document is particularly interesting because it is a document of the ordinary people of ancient Egypt.
The scribe's stylus faithfully recorded in black ink the name of each worker. Underneath, he inscribed the date of absence, also in black. The cause of absence was recorded in red. In half the cases, the main reason given was illness. This incomparable document takes us right into the world of ancient Egypt. "2,500 years before Christ, a young man called Seba was away from work for one day. What reason did he give for his absence?"
In the case of a worker called Seba, whose name is written here at the beginning of this line, he was off for one day because he was bitten by a scorpion. This is a kind of accident which could have happened even in the house in the village. The village where these workers lived was situated on the desert where scorpions are quite common. And in the case of the worker called Khonsu, whose name is written here, he was absent firstly because he was ill for some days here, but then more interestingly, later on, we are told he is at his festival at this point. And this may be a family or personal celebration, such as a birthday, for example.
The pyramid workers had a wide variety of reasons. Passer left the workers' village when he heard that his young son was sick.
From the details of the life of these workers on this record, we can see that they were free people. They had their own lives, which were reasonably pleasant for the time. They had their own possessions. It was a hierarchical society. There's no escape from the fact that there were people at various levels of society. But having said that, it was a much freer and equal society than certain others.
The names on the stone are like a mirror of the past. Nephrab left in mourning to have his brother embalmed. Death was everywhere, an inescapable part of life.
On arrive à ce paradoxe dans l'Égypte ancienne que ce qui paraît être leur obsession de la mort et qui en fait est celle de continuer la vie de l'autre côté, aboutit à cette chose donc paradoxale qui est que rien mieux que les tombes, le décor des tombes ou le mobilier des tombes ne parle mieux de la vie quotidienne. Le but n'est pas de la raconter, mais il est de mettre à la disposition des gens qui sont enterrés dans la tombe, de mettre précisément tout ce qui peut recréer, par la vertu créatrice de l'image ou de l'écrit, la vie qu'ils ont connue et qu'ils souhaitent continuer à connaître dans l'autre monde.
The tombs of the Pharaoh's servants show us an Egypt that no longer exists. Images of papyrus and lotus blossoms are seen alongside sacred animals that are now extinct. In the fields, men and women sow wheat and harvest crops, while the fresco's explosion of colour reflects their zest for life. At the centre of it all, the Nile sets the rhythms of everyday life. And the wine growers appear delighted at the quality of the grapes. The family was very important. Family statues were taken right into the tomb. This loving father faces eternity with his two daughters. At the gates of an eternity they had constructed for themselves, the pharaoh's subjects seemed to be obsessed with life.
L'obsession de la vie, on peut parler de ça, et ce qui aboutit à l'obsession à l'éternité, cette notion d'éternité qui semble absolument peut-être la composante la plus égyptienne de toute cette imaginaire que l'on a, et cet aspect-là est vraiment obsessionnel, c'est-à-dire que quand vous voyez la moindre petite statuette représentant un couple de défunts, par exemple, qui est dédié par leur fils, avec une toute petite inscription, même s'il y a que 3 signes, l'inscription, ça sera fait par leur fils qui fait vivre leur nom. Parce que tout est axé dans ça, c'est-à-dire continuer de l'autre côté. Alors, ça, comme corollaire, vous avez aussi ce qu'on appelle le chant du harpiste, c'est-à-dire quelque chose qui vous invite à profiter de la vie, parce qu'après tout, personne n'est revenu vraiment de l'autre côté pour dire si ça continue vraiment. Et profite de la vie, passe une journée parfaite avec la femme que tu aimes assise à tes côtés, jusqu'au jour qui sera celui d'aborder, c'est-à-dire jusqu'au jour avec cette belle image d'amarrer la barque qui vous amène de l'autre côté, et qui est une belle métaphore pour désigner la mort, et jusqu'à ce jour-là, profite de la vie, parce que bon, on va faire tout ce qu'on peut, on va représenter ce que tu as vécu, on va mettre toutes les offrandes nécessaires, on mettra toujours au moins schématiser 1000 pots de bière, 1000 pains, 1000 pièces de tissu, 1000, etc., 1000 têtes de bétail, 1000 pièces de viande, mais tout ça c'est très bien, tout est mis dans la tombe, mais fais un jour heureux, passe une journée parfaite parce que personne n'est revenu.
To accept the idea of death, the Egyptians built tombs that looked like houses. They preserved the image of a sunny universe and so paid tribute to Ra, the sun god. Yet, how do we explain the fact that hundreds of thousands of men and women worked to build a monument that may never have been occupied? Were the pyramids the triumph of life over primeval chaos, or did they represent something more symbolic, more esoteric? "2,500 years before Christ, in what would become Europe, populations of hunters lived in primitive wooden huts. In Giza, at the same time, hundreds of thousands of workers were beginning their gigantic task. This was Egypt's golden age. Her merchants ventured into the Mediterranean. Their caravans journeyed as far south as Sudan. And all along these routes, trade flourished. Pharaoh held absolute power. Were the pyramids the symbol of this unequalled power? When his officers decided to climb the pyramids at Giza, Napoleon calculated that the 3 together contained enough stone to build a wall 3 meters high and 30 centimeters wide right around France. How long did these huge projects go on for? For the last 200 years there have been many theories, but we still don't have an answer. Given the scorching desert heat, why did free men agree to build them? The pyramids are still an enigma. Every day, as they catch the last rays of the sun, their giant shadows blot out our questions.